Meanwhile, in President Biden's address to Congress last night, the U.S.-Mexico border crisis seemed barely an afterthought, as Logan was pointing out. In fact, near the end of the speech, he asked lawmakers to pass immigration reform and give legal status to dreamers, those immigrants who came here as children, while the current influx of migrant children is up 900% versus last year. And Kamala Harris, appointed more than a month ago to help get that border crisis under control, hasn't even been down to the border. For reaction on Biden's comments and the border, let's bring in now Ken Cuccinelli, former acting deputy secretary, Department of Homeland Security, and now a visiting fellow with the Heritage Foundation. Todd Bensman joining us now, senior national security fellow with the Center for Immigration Studies. He's also the author of this book here, America's Covert Border War. Good to see both of you here. Ken Cuccinelli, I'll get your response on this one and what you thought about the president's speech and this afterthought of the border crisis.
Well, that's an important way to characterize it. Your reporting is accurate. It's very important to understand not just what is said, but what isn't said. And given the degree of crisis, and the president used the word crisis 10 times during his speech, and yet the one true crisis he didn't address is the crisis on the border. And obviously it's intentional. They don't want to draw attention to it. He's underwater, even with Democrats, in his handling of immigration matters. But to then ask for amnesty for millions of illegal aliens, to ask for the passage of a voting bill that would sweep millions of non-citizens, including illegal aliens, onto our voter rolls, is the height of chutzpah, to say the least. It is an incredibly bad timing from our perspective. But it does show you that it's all tied together on the left. We see a crisis at the border, they see a voter registration line.
Let's talk about that tie together that you mentioned, Todd, because Biden spent a lot more time detailing the nearly $2 trillion American Families Plan, certainly more than his mention of the border. It can be fact-checked. But now we've also learned he's appointing Kamala Harris to oversee this new plan. Listen to this.
It's going to help our kids and our businesses succeed in the 21st century economy. And I'm asking the Vice President to lead this effort, if she would, because I know it'll get done.
Okay, so Harris appointed to another role, but she hasn't traveled to the border. She's got this new responsibility there addressed last night by the president, overseeing the American Families Plan. Can you expect her now to continue to address the crisis concern down there? Todd, now she's got more responsibility. What has she done with the first responsibility?
I think the first border state she went to was one on the Canadian border briefly. Look, the the immigration crisis on the border, I just returned from Mexico, my third trip. I spent a lot of time with the actual immigrants. And I can tell you that the one thing that they definitely heard across the spectrum of aspiring illegal immigrants is amnesty. When they hear a word like amnesty, that is like an afterburner. It puts a fuel on the fire of illegal immigration to hurry up and get in over that border. I never met an immigrant who didn't have a cell phone that was fully, capable of accessing social media and the president's speech as it's live time translated. This is what has conjured up the border crisis. These kind of comments, these kind of policies, they listen to that and they make life decisions based on those words. And I think what you're going to see now is just a steady escalation of this border crisis. People forget that they are just pouring in over that border. I just came from there. Yeah. I watched it. I talked to everybody.
Yeah, Ken, Ken, I want to bring you in, too, because I don't want folks to watch this broadcast and think we're neglecting facts. We understand that Vice President Kamala Harris has spoken to diplomats there at the Northern Triangle. That was the effort made. But there is still a crisis, again, at the border, right at it. Case in point, I think it was the show yesterday or before. They have crisis counselors there. They have self-help experts speaking to ICE representative and speaking to Border Patrol agents. That's how much a problem is, and that only happened as of recent. I've had the man go on record to say that. And it seems as a partisan effort. Freshman Representative Lauren Boebert brought out a space blanket. She was seen with this which was given to immigrant children at detention facilities. Right. This to draw attention to Biden's responsibility, that administration, for what's happening at the southern border. How much of a problem is this, and is this a responsibility of the Biden administration? Ken, 30 seconds for you.
It's absolutely a responsibility of the federal government. I think states are actually now starting to think, gosh, what can we do since they're not going to do anything? You're seeing that in Texas and Arizona now, those discussions. But the reality is we're only 3 months into the Biden effect. You've got crisis counselors for Border Patrol and ICE only 3 months in. All our facilities are full. Look at these pictures, are full anywhere near the border in just 3 months. What's it going to be like 3 months from now and 3 months after that, when they're doing nothing to slow the flow? Even the bill that Senators Sinema and Cornyn advanced is just to finance doing all of this faster. It's a very foolish approach.
And COVID protocols, are they being tested? Where are they going? How long are they being held? The facilities that they're being held in? I mean, there are a lot of questions. You can't ignore that. We're out of time. Ken Cuccinelli, always great to see you, as well as Todd Bensman. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.